It's going to happen. Welcome back to the Team 12 Seattle Seahawks podcast. I'm Rose Team 12s, and today we're going to be talking about how a rebuild is kind of inevitable for this team. So Wilson, yeah, there's trade discussions there. Even if he doesn't get traded, if Pete gets fired, if Pete doesn't get fired, no matter what, a rebuild's probably going to happen. Because going into this offseason, you can't just rely on Rashad Penny since he's a free agent. And if you re-sign him for like a 2-year, $2-year, $8 million deal, $4 million a year, you can't just rely on him and then re-sign Alex Collins and rely on the two of them. That's not going to work. Yes, Rashad Penny's have this massive, absolutely insane streak of games, but you can't rely on that. You would probably have to sign like Leonard Fournette. You'd probably have to sign Leonard Fournette, re-sign Penny, and re-sign Collins. You'd have to go 3 deep. So if Penny gets hurt, you still have Lenny and you still have Alex. If Alex Collins get hurt, you still got your 2 best running backs. If Fournette gets hurt for 3 games, 4 games, put him on IR, you got Penny and Collins still. If Collins and Fournette gets hurt, you still got Penny. If Penny and Fournette get hurt they probably wouldn't both be gone for like 4 games. Maximum, both gone for 2. You can ride with Collins for 2 games. Then you have to re-sign DJ Reed, re-sign what's his name, Sidney Jones, the guy that we traded for, and you'd have to sign maybe J.C. Jack. You'd have to get, say, Stephon Gilmore and maybe 2 other cornerbacks in free agency. So 2 new cornerbacks in free agency. You'd have to sign 3 new defensive ends. You'd have to sign 2 new defensive tackles. You have to sign a linebacker. You have to sign a backup safety or 2 that's a need. You'd probably have to sign a new center because Kyle Fuller ain't it. You have Damian Lewis, switch him back to the right guard because he's a much better player there. You need a new left guard now. So, and then Dwayne Brown, we're not giving him an extension. He has not been that good this year. You need a new right tackle. You need almost an entire new offensive line. And you need also a wide receiver 3 and 4. Not just like, Dwayne Eskridge and Freddie Swain. No, that's not going to cut it. You can have Dwayne Eskridge as the wide receiver 3 or 4, but you need to sign somebody else out there in free agency. Not somebody big that's like Chris Godwin or Allen Robinson, but somebody in like the mid-range, like somebody that's in the area of Antonio Brown. I'm not saying you have to go sign Antonio Brown because he's a little bit of a nutcase right now, but go sign somebody in that area that can give you a solid, not just like a lucky, I got 600 yards, great, like David Moore 2 years back. You have to sign somebody that's like, okay, you earned those yards. You produced to get those yards, and it wasn't just a target. It just wasn't, I got a ton of bombs by Russell Wilson for touchdowns, and now I'm going to get paid by the Panthers. So you need pretty much an entire new defense. And you need a new kicker because Jason Myers hasn't really been in it this year, unless you have like Justin Tucker or Rodrigo Blankenship or somebody who's one of those top tier kickers in the NFL, or not Carl Nass. That's the defensive end. I'm thinking of the Raiders kicker, Daniel Carlson. And so, unless you have somebody like that who's one of the best kickers in the NFL, like top 3, you don't sign him to a big deal. So you're going to cut Jason Myers, you're going to need a new kicker. You need almost an entire new team if you're going to keep Russell and fire Pete, or if you're going to keep Pete and fire Russell and trade him to the Giants and get Daniel Jones, or trade him to the Eagles and get Gardner Minshew or Jalen Hurts. You need almost an entire new team to rebuild, to not even retool. It's a rebuild, but put quick and thrown together if you do it this offseason. So in my opinion, you blow it up. You keep DK, keep Lockett because you just extended him. Keep Lewis, and pretty much that's it on the offense. And then defense, you keep Jamal Adams. You don't keep Quandre Diggs because he's going to be old by the time you get back in that contention stage. You cut Bobby Wagner this offseason, which is sad to say, but 16 million for a player where when Jordan Brooks slotted in, or when what's his name, the guy that Cody Barton, even when he slid in against the Lions, you didn't really notice a change like at all. When Cody Barton went in for Bobby Wagner in that game against the Lions, I didn't notice anything different. Yeah, I was like, oh, there's Cody Barton out there. It wasn't like, oh, Bobby Wagner, oh, he's going crazy like in 2018. It wasn't a massive drop off when you put him in over Bobby, because Bobby got hurt on the first play of the game. And Bobby's getting hurt, worn down. He's been in the league for a lot of years. It's his time. Go to another team for like a year, which I don't think he will, or retire. And I hope we cut him, because we save 16 million if we do, and that's a lot for a player that you don't see a massive drop off if you go to the next guy. And you have Jordan Brooks, who's going to be playing middle line. He might play right outside linebacker if you cut Bobby. I kind of, it's a weird situation there, because Brooks was drafted to play middle linebacker for us because Bobby's getting old. But Cody Barton, when he goes in at middle linebacker, he plays almost like just slightly below what Bobby gives you. So, and everywhere else, Cody Barton sucks. Cody Barton is just decent on special teams. I don't even see him on special teams. All I see is our fullback slash like ninth linebacker. What's his name? All right, I can't remember his name right now, but he's a good player, good special teams player, Nick Bloor. But yeah, you have to give this team an entire rebuild, entire new team, if you are going to get back to that contention or NFC Championship stage. So, in my opinion, you have to go to a rebuild. You have to trade Russell. He'll give you the picks. You have the first round pick that you gave to the Jets this year. Hopefully, we can beat the Cardinals, so it's slightly worse. It's not. I think it's probably like the 12th. I think it's around the 13th pick. I think somewhere in there. But hopefully we can beat the Cardinals and bring that down to just barely in the top 15. So, yeah, other than that, Seahawks have to go into rebuild. Trade Russell, get the two first rounders from the Eagles or Giants this year, then the first rounder next year, then you got 2 next year, you have 2 this year. Have 2, maybe ask for another second from one of those teams, and you have two first rounders, 2 first next year, 2 this year, and maybe 2 next year. And you're sitting pretty with an entire just bundle of picks that you can go to a team like, hey, Jaguars, next year we'll slide you a first round pick, and we'll slide you our first round pick this year, and a second and let's say a random player on the roster that they kind of like, and we move up from 11 to 6 in like next year. I'm just gonna say Jaguars 6 pick, and you have the QB1 in the draft, and then you have QB2. No one in like the top 5 needs them other than that in the first pick, and then we get our QB of the future. Because this year's QB class sucks, is god awful compared to last year. Last year you had Trevor. People saying Trevor ain't gonna be that good. I think Trevor's still gonna be a baller. He's having his Peyton Manning, Troy Aikman first year. I think he's just surrounded by garbage, other than Marvin Jones and what's his name? Their running back, Robinson. Other than that, he doesn't really have anything on offense. So, and he had Urban Meyer as his head coach for a majority of the season, so that just brought his progression down a little more. But Zach Wilson, I think he's going to be bust. Justin Fields, sit tight with him. I think he just needs time to develop. Trey Lance, he's going to be a baller. And yeah, just QB class last year was really good. This year sucks. Next year solid. But hopefully we can get things going. If we do go in all in this offseason, hopefully it's good, because if you don't, and if you just nitpick and just keep Russ, keep Pete, just going for one more season, grab just a player here and there, you're not going to make it anywhere past the divisional. So, other than that, if you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing. I edit my videos. That's for my description. If you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing. It always helps. It's amazing whenever I see like, oh, 1 more subscriber. It's awesome. But I'll always keep making these videos. I love doing it. And other than that, have a good rest of your day.